Let's come right back for you Saturday, I guess today we are back. Alright, so today we're back for part 2. Alright, so eventually NATO is going to be formed, and now they're going to declare war on the Russians. Alright, so the first target is going to be getting all of the countries back from the Warsaw Pact. Okay, as they invade into Austria right here, and eventually going to defeat Austria. It's going to be kind of an easy one, but they secure Austria. Alright, now they are going to use Austria as a little bit of a they are gonna now they're going to now force Austria to become part of NATO, and Austria is going to accept. Right now, the next target is going to be from Italy. They're now going to invade into Yugoslavia. Right, as they land in quite a few different areas. Right, of the land. They're going to take over Montenegro and Albania, and they're going to start invading into the alliance. Now, eventually, it's going to come well as they invade into over here, and eventually Serbia is going to surrender, so marking as them leaving the alliance, and also Yugoslavia died. Right now, with this all secured. They're going to invade into Greece. Alright, now it's going to be a little bit hard as Russians have put a massive defense, but obviously it's going to be mega easy. Alright, as they eventually invade into Greece and also Turkey. And they're going to go upwards into Bulgaria and invading quite a bit. Now, USA is going to send a lot of aid with Europeans, alright, with joining the alliance. Obviously, Portugal isn't in the alliance because you guys know from last week, okay? But anyways, yeah, eventually they're going to now invade into Czechia and also Slovakia. And also Hungary here, Romania. And finally Poland. Right now, obviously, this is going to mark as now the Warsaw Pact has been deleted. Alright, so basically now the Warsaw Pact is erased, and all the members are successfully joined. Alright, and eventually NATO is going to become a massive new European ones. Now, as they're doing this, they're going to invade into Finland right here. Right now, Russia's going to put a massive defense over here, but they're actually this is kind of a bad idea. Okay, as USA is going to focus all up here as they invade into the over here into this little part, and they successfully defeat Finland, and and eventually they're going to start a massive attack down here. Right, eventually they're going to start a massive attack upwards. Alright, and it's going to go well. Alright, as they're doing this, they're going to invade into the Balkans and successfully taking over Kaliningrad. Now, they are going to lose a significant amount of men, as obviously Kaliningrad's quite an important area, but eventually they are going to secure the Baltics. Alright. Now, the Russians are going to do kind of good as well. Alright, as eventually they're going to push back. Now, the Russians are going to do kind of good too. Alright, as they eventually invade, they push back the USA into their main territory. But only a little bit, okay? Because obviously USA is quite powerful. Now USA is going to send more and more men, alright? And eventually they're now going to invade into Ukraine. They're also going to invade into Belarus and make Belarus forced to join NATO. They're going to invade in Moldova, and they're going to invade upwards over here into the Russians as they successfully go through and defeat the Russians. Right? I mean, defeat and manage to get Ukraine back. Right? Now, as they're doing this, they're going to invade into the rest of Turkey, and also going to invade all Cyprus, and and eventually are going to make. They're eventually going to make the Turks dead. Right now, as they're doing this, their next goal now is to defeat the Middle Eastern alliance over here. Right, so with Saudi Arabia, they're going to declare war. So Saudi Arabia is going to declare war on Jordan. Right, as they invade Jordan. Now, as they're doing this, the Russians are the USA is going to set up a new puppet state in Syria, and it's going to invade Syria. They're going to invade Palestine and also Lebanon, and eventually they're going to have Saudi Arabia for Jordan, and they're going to gladly do so. And the last time it's going to be Iraq as they successfully defeat. Okay, as they're doing this, the Russians are going to, the USA is going to push upwards with NATO, and is going to push into Armenia and Azerbaijan, and also Jordan, as they eventually defeat him, and it's going to push upwards into the main territory. Okay, so successfully keep a lot of their territory over here, successfully cornering Crimea, and eventually going to take them over. And it's going to push into their main territory, It's gonna become kind of crazy, but Russia's gonna become like mega split. Okay, as eventually even their island's gonna be taken over. Now, eventually, the USA are going to start a massive march into Moscow, alright, which is going to go kind of good, as eventually they're going to invade, and they're eventually going to invade into Moscow and eventually take it over, okay? As of this, they're going to continue upwards, and basically invade into their main territory. Over here. As they're doing this, they're going to start a massive invasion into Kazakhstan, alright, and eventually they are going to win. And eventually they're going to now secure Kazakhstan, and eventually they are going to start the new campaign, which is to liberate all the Benelux area. So it's going to go well, as eventually they're going to start liberating all of the Russian territories. Now, eventually after doing this, they're gonna successfully make a new Middle Eastern puppet state over here. Okay, as they're doing this, they're going to now invade into Iran. Alright, Iran's gonna surrender now to the USA. Well, actually, not really yet. Yeah, as to this, their puppet state is going to invade into them, and eventually, this is going to mark as the Iranian. Eventually, Iran people are now going to surrender. All right, now eventually, this is going to be a new powerful Middle Eastern puppet state with these nations over here. All right, and eventually, Russia is going to form a new NATO. So yeah. Now, as for this. They're now going to start a mass invasion into India. Alright, as they're going to start invading into Pakistan and start a new liberation into Pakistan. Now, they're going to be strong in India, and also Russia is kind of distracted right now, and as for this, they're going to start making a new war. Alright, so now China's going to support India a little bit, but obviously it's not going to go well. Alright, as eventually going to start moving downwards. And eventually are going to start pushing the Indians back as far as they could. Going to start invading the island over here. And as for this, they're going to successfully kick them out of their main territory. And also, they're now going to start a new invasion into Myanmar. Alright, as eventually they're going to go down here. They're also going to land over here and take over take over the bottom part of the pup state over here. Alright, and they're going to start moving upwards. Alright, and successfully they're going to start invading into the Thailand pup state, and eventually going to win. Alright. As for this, the next target is going to be eventually they're also going to invade into Cambodia and Laos. Alright, as they eventually start taking over these two nations, and basically going to liberate. Alright. Now, eventually they're going to start end the whole Middle Eastern dominance. Alright, so they're now going to start massive invasions into Philippines. Now they're going to go they're going to go good, as eventually they're going to start invading into the Philippines, and eventually going to de-establish the Philippine thing here. Okay. Now while doing this, they're going to invade into Japan. Alright, and eventually are going to kill the pup state of Japan. Now, while doing this, they're going to start their own invasion up here as they eventually wait for winter to happen, and eventually they're now going to start mass invasions into their main territory. And they're going to start invading Russia from two sides. Alright, and eventually they're going to start downwards as they invade over here. And unfortunately for the Russians, they're going to have to, they are now going to be a bit of trouble. Alright, as eventually the Russians are going to start a massive, massive collapse. And eventually the Russians are going to start losing more territory, and eventually it's gonna now rewards, and then Russia's gonna now have a limited amount of territory, and they're now going to surrender. Alright, surrender to the USA. Alright. So, eventually after doing this, the next kind of what's going to happen, alright, is now, the last target now is going to be China, alright. Now, China's going to be kind of weak now, and eventually the Russians are going to continue over here. As for this, the USA is going to push into North Korea and eventually going to defeat them, alright. and eventually is now going to surround China. All right, now China is going to now have put a lot of defense up, but unfortunately, this is where China's going to have a bit of trouble. Okay, so they're going to invade into China's island. They're going to invade into the Chinese little provinces over here. They're going to start a mass invasion into Mongolia. And it's going to start a mass invasion from everywhere. Alright, as they go in a massive attack over here, and they kick out the Chinese from Manchuria. And also are going to push into their main territory. Right now, obviously, this is going to mark as a big surrender. Right, and yeah, eventually, they're going to invade into Tibet, and they're going to continue up here from this side, as they eventually invade into over here. And yeah, eventually China is going to start a massive collapse, as obviously the Russian or the Chinese are going to continue. And eventually, USA is going to make lots of landings, and it's going to make massive front right here, as they eventually make China so much smaller. And eventually, this is going to be a massive collapse for the Chinese, right? As they eventually surrender to the USA, right? And eventually, now it's going to end off the war, right? So yeah, and eventually this is going to mark the end of the war, right? As eventually they're going to now have a new Middle Eastern puppet state over here, right? So yeah, and eventually, yeah, now they're officially end the war, right? They've invaded quite a lot of their Russian members. Alright, and then also invaded quite a few of the different nations. Alright, so yeah, eventually it's going to end in a massive victory, alright, of the Russians. So yeah, kind of cool actually. Alright, now let's do a little bit of a peace treaty, okay, see what happens. I'll be right back, guys, until I've done the peace treaty. Alright, so we've done the peace treaty. It didn't take quite long. Alright, and guys, let's start off with America. Alright, so nothing really changed that much apart from Cuba and Nicaragua. They're now made into, well, so USA is going to give them up, but yeah, they are now into like new countries. Now going to, not really much Nicaragua, but they are going to get new countries, okay? Yeah, Cuba is now officially become democracy, and now they've gained a new government. All right, I'll say for Puerto Rico, I think honestly, yeah, nothing really changed that much in here. Now, a bit more South America does change it a bit more, okay? As obviously now Brazil is made into a puppet state of the Portuguese, and also is gained Uruguay. All right, Argentina still keeps Paraguay and Bolivia, although obviously they did help massively in the war. And also here in Venezuela, they are made into a new country. So they are made into a new country, and they are given a new government. Yeah, I'll show a quick turn on the board, so that's a bit more better. And also, the British Guiana and British Guiana, they gain these two provinces of French Guiana and Suriname, and then they also gain this little land, and then Colombia is gained this territory. Alright, but apart from that, obviously Venezuela is now made into a new government. Right now, yeah, that's America. Africa over here, Ethiopia is made into a puppet state, and also Sudan. Well, nothing really changed much over here, but yeah, Ethiopia is gained to a puppet state. So, by the way, guys, Sudan does gain this little part as well. Alright, anyways, so from that, and another thing as well, same thing with South Africa. South Africa and Ethiopia are made to puppet states, and now going to stay for quite a bit of a while until they obviously became independent. Okay, but besides that, they are going to become independent and get new governments. And besides from that, obviously, all the other USA is going to let go of all the other countries that were part of of South Africa, and it's going to be independent. But they are, giving new governments. Now, next thing is going to be the Middle East. All right, as USA is going to make a new puppet state with so USA is still going to keep the puppet state, but the only thing is Iran is independent, but they are now made into another new country. Well, they've got a new government. All right, and they also must pay reparations. All right. Anyways, apart from that, another thing as well is Egypt. Oh yeah, and also Egypt, Sudan are getting independent as well. Okay, I forgot to say that. Israel is gained independence, and with this, they are gained Lebanon and Palestine. Now, I don't know why, but yeah, Saudi Arabia does gain Kuwait. Alright, I don't know why. I'm gonna keep that one. But yeah, but mainly for Saudi Arabia, they are getting a bit more. Okay, they're not really gonna get any land, but yeah, because obviously, I mean, they didn't really want anyone. But yeah, USA did want to make a new pop state, so now USA's made a powerful new pop state in the Middle East. Alright, and also Turkey, since they were a puppet state of Russia, they have kind of been a bit of a punishment. They are still going to do the same. So yeah, I made this goal, but yeah, I was making the same goal. Yeah, actually, no, I like that cooler. Yeah, so they are kind of like got a new government, and obviously the land changed a little bit. But yeah, the main thing is that basically Istanbul was made independent. Okay, Istanbul's not independent. Over here, Serbia's kind of made to a new government. And then yeah, we'll come back to Russia. Alright, but yeah, and eventually then after that, and eventually now alright. Now, let's our next focus is over here in Southeast Asia. So Thailand isn't really going to get anything. They're actually going to lose stuff. Alright, as obviously they were a puppet state of China. If they were a puppet state, they would have probably gained Cambodia, maybe. But yeah, they did lose a bit. So yeah, eventually, Malaysia and Myanmar are both going to gain a bit of land from Taiwan. So Taiwan's going to look like this. I could have made him get this part, but it would have lost Bangkok, and I don't really want Taiwan losing the capital. But yeah, Thailand is made into a new government. Okay, while that Vietnam is going to gain Cambodia and Laos, and is going to keep him for a while. Alright, as obviously they did technically follow the alliance of China. Alright, which you guys can see China in a second. So yeah. Now another thing as well, Philippines, USA is going to gain the Philippines. So yeah, basically Philippines. So USA is going to keep Philippines for quite a bit. Okay. Now another thing as well up here with Japan. Well, actually, yeah. Now let's move on to Korea. All right, as South Korea is now going to Korea is now going to be unified as democratic. All right, as democracy. All right. Now another thing as well, China. Alright, let's move on to China. So China is kind of a big... Oh, actually, no, India. Forgot about India. Now, for India, nothing's really going to change. Actually, let me just change the color real quick, because that bright blue does look pretty much the same. So India is going to become India's going to become like a puppet state, but yeah, they're going to become like a new country. But yeah, basically they are going to get a new government, but they must listen to whatever USA tells them to do. Alright, it's kind of like that. And also along with that, Myanmar, Bangladesh, and Pakistan are going to gain land. Alright, from this war as well. As technically all three of them have been taken over. Alright. Anyways, moving on to China. Alright, so this is the second to last one, and then moving on to final, which is Russia. Alright, as you guys see here. So, with China, it's going to kind of split, but the main thing is that Taiwan is now going to gain a large portion of China. So, this is going to become like World War II, basically. I kind of remade it as like World War II China's. But yeah, the main thing is that, obviously, there's going to be a million Chinas, but the main thing is that Taiwan's going to take over back nationalist China, and they're going to keep nationalist China. Okay, and also there's going to be no communist China. Alright, so no communist party anymore, and now it's just going to be democracy. And eventually, I think after some time, all of these they actually were a bit nice, and they did want to gain some new countries. Alright, that's why they made so Manchuria is going to come back, all the different Chinas. Okay, they wanted to come back, so yeah, they made them come back basically. Alright, so yeah, so that's basically that. And finally, is Russia. Okay, first of all, let's go with all the different Russian parts. So basically, first of all, with Kaliningrad. Oh yeah, actually, before we do it as well, let's move on to Europe. Right, I forgot about that. So nothing's going to change as much apart from Serbia, and also Belarus is going to gain a new government as well. Alright, it's going to come kind of like a new country. Austria is going to gain a new government, as obviously they did technically defy USA before. So yeah, they are now going to get a new government. I was going to decide to have Germany keep them, but it wasn't really much of an idea, so I just made it that, okay? Now, final one is Russia, okay? Let's take a look at all different Russian parts. Alright, so first of all is Kaliningrad, as USA does gain that. Finland is going to gain a bit more territory from here, as obviously they were they didn't really do anything to serve the war, but obviously that's what USA decided. Okay, so Finland now gains all this part from Russia. And also over here, Ukraine, and also over here, Transnistria is not going to exist as Moldova does become like a full new country. And also over here, now eventually, oh yeah, actually no, I have an idea of this. There we go. And Ukraine is now going to gain Donetsk, and Crimea, and these four countries are going to gain independence. Alright, and I'm going to come to countries. As you guys see here, Georgia is going to lose. Georgia's now going to gain all their land. These Russian military ports over here. And finally, oh yeah, and then also over here, Japan is going to gain the diesel islands, and these islands kind of like their original, kind of like the past. And finally, the biggest one is that Russia is now going to become fully democratic. Okay, it's fully gonna, so not going to become a puppet state of Russia, but they are going to USA, but they are gonna now, and they're now going to make peace with Ukraine, and now yeah, that's basically it. But yeah, so that's kind of basically it. This is actually a massive kind of scenario, and I made it myself, right? And yeah, made it into a little bit of a peace treaty right here. Yeah. So this is now the end of the Russian war. Okay, now I think in the future, obviously Argentina is going to let go of Bolivia and Paraguay, and they're going to become independent. Portugal is going to let go of Brazil. Obviously, Brazil is going to probably have independence. As Brazil is going to go on, yeah. So I'm not going to do it because obviously, like, you know, the Russian China, I don't want to mess that up again. So, but I'll tell you guys what I predict in the future. So what I predict in the future is that basically. So this is going to stay for now. Alright, it's going to stay for a little bit. But what's going to happen, what I think, is that Brazil is going to gain independence, and they're now going to officially make a better alliance with USA and stuff like that. And then Guyana is going to probably give up, and I think Argentina is going to give up Bolivia and Paraguay. Over here, obviously, we know that Ethiopia and South Africa are both going to become independent, as obviously USA will let them go. But obviously, they are going to need are going to be making new governments, and also as well, they're now going to not have a war anymore, right? And over here, these three countries will gain independence as well, but they are going to regain new governments, and they're now going to listen to USA. All right, Iran's going to stay the same. These Russian countries are going to stay. Actually, no, not 3. I thought Joe was one of them. Yeah, these three right here are going to stay independent, and also Crimea as well. So these 4 technically. After this war, Ukraine's actually very happy, as obviously they do regain. They haven't regained Crimea, but yeah, they have took over all their main territories, right, which is what they're very happy with. Alright, so eventually they're now going to grow a bit more of a better alliance now, USA. Alright, and now, yeah, Russia's going to become eventually, so China and Russia are the most affected out of war. Okay, so eventually both of them are now going to have to submit to USA, and obviously China's been split into a million pieces. So yeah, and what I think as well is that probably what will happen is all the Chinese, like, different countries over here, apart from Tibet obviously, but these other ones will probably join, and these two will probably join, is going to join the Russian alliance. And yeah, obviously USA will let go of the Philippines as well, and Philippines will become independent with a new government. In New Zealand, the same. Alright, but yeah, so that's kind of basically what I think what would happen in the future, okay, if everything was like, oh yeah, and eventually, well, yeah, probably, but, and obviously, now, so yeah, this has actually been a good scenario, okay, I enjoyed it today. I actually made it 2 parts, so I'm going to upload this video. This is defo a massive scenario, and I actually made it into a real cool one, so, yeah. Anyways, guys, we're gonna end off today's video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Oh yeah, and wait, before we do. And I also think as well that maybe Vietnam might keep Thailand laws, Cambodian laws, or they might come independent. Okay, but obviously I know that Thailand is not going to be the same. Alright, as they lose a bit of land. Alright, but anyways, yeah. So yeah. Anyways, guys, we're gonna end off today's video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you like and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you haven't seen more videos less than channel. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.